Hello and welcome back to our FM22 Journeyman, or welcome if you are new to the channel and the series. We are here with Hertha Berlin. This is our fourth club. We've been fired once. We're not going to talk about that. And today we are facing Borussia Dortmund in the league. Looking over at the league table, of course, we can see that we are still top 3 points ahead of Bayern Munich, but it is very, very tight. And another thing that I've literally noticed as I've been talking, Wayne Rooney is the manager of Borussia Dortmund in the year 2029. FM22 is a weird game. This is the team we're going to be using today for that match against Borussia Dortmund. We've got Mendy in goal. Our back four today is going to be Mikalenko, Silva, Mancini and Funk. We've then got Neuhaus, Troyer and Urinai in the midfield, with Cavarat on the left, Tetra on the right and Luca up front. We are once again being played by a fair few injuries. I mean, that and suspensions. Delport is injured, Valdez and Schubert are injured, Diallo and Freeman, our two main defensive midfielders, are both suspended, which, to be fair, is just poor match management on my part. I probably should have noticed that before it happened. The second match of today's episode, of course, is going to be the match against Bayer Leverkusen as well. Bayer Leverkusen, who finished above us in the league last season and were the runners-up to the Bayern Munich team. Having a quick look at Borussia Dortmund, Zingel is still there as their backup goalkeeper. We obviously had him at Barnsley and sold him to Borussia Dortmund. I think he was their first choice goalkeeper for a little bit, but is definitely now their deputy. And again, looking at the league table, we are quite a bit ahead of third place Borussia Mönchengladbach, but equally Bayern Munich are breathing down our neck, and you feel like it's only going to take a very small mistake on our part, a draw, a loss, and Bayern Munich could sneak right back in there. So we do need a good result today against Borussia Dortmund. Hopefully we can go and get it. They've had some players in fantastic form. Highlighting here, Antisti, their central attacking midfielder, is their top scorer. I think he scored 23 goals in the league so far this season. Oh, I thought that was going in. THRASHING has been scoring a few of those lately off of that right wing. He's suddenly become very adept with his head. He doesn't really fit the profile for someone who's going to score a lot of headers, but he does seem to love a good cross into the box, and he loves doing this, which is just punishing defenders and poor passes. If you put a poor pass near THRASHING, he is going to run up on you, and he normally puts him in the back of the net. Hasn't managed it on this occasion. We're going to get another corner off of that one because it is saved by the Borussia Dortmund goalkeeper. Second bite of the cherry here. Traore once again into the near post. It's just been passed back to Traore by Mancini, but it is now meaning that that was going to be the end of that attack because Traore's offside. I love, you'd think professional footballers would notice and go, you look like you're probably offside if I give you back this ball. I'm not going to give you back this ball, but it never works like that. Funk now playing it in. Luca seizing the opportunity off of that just fractional mistake. I think it might have been from Zagadou, the Borussia Dortmund centre-back, who kind of put in a tackle or a block, whatever you want to call that, hasn't quite got it right, and Luca there to punish him, pouncing upon that one. Yeah, it was Zagadou knocking it back, thinking that was probably going to go out for a corner. We'll block that cross coming in, and instead he's basically assisted the goal for Luca there, and we will take that all day long. We are just going to encourage the team as we see, I believe, a penalty coming up. We are going to get the VAR check and the return of Philip, the little man, in the referee's ear to the channel. Referee going to have a look at his little monitor. You think if he's run all the way over there, it is normally 9 times out of 10 a penalty given, and which would mean Borussia Dortmund, it is a penalty awarded. Borussia Dortmund going to have the opportunity to peg us back almost immediately here, unless Mendy, who looks really big in that goal, can make a save. He can't. He has gone the wrong way, and Montiel there just going to slot that one home for his third goal of the season for Borussia Dortmund and put us back on level pegging. I guess a draw against Borussia Dortmund, probably not the worst result we could have. They are obviously a really big team in Germany. They are one of the 2 or 3 big teams in Germany in real life. Probably the only one that has a massive chance of dethroning Bayern Munich. RB Leipzig, I guess, in with a shout as well, but equally not as much as a shout as Borussia Dortmund. We have just scored again through Kavarat, but we are going to once again have to turn to Philip and see what Philip says. Philip is awarded the goal because Philip, obviously a Hertha Berlin fan. I genuinely don't think whenever we've gone to VAR with Hertha Berlin, I don't think we've ever not had a goal awarded. I genuinely can't remember an occasion, off camera or on camera, that we have not had one of those awarded at the end of it. So Philip, nicely wearing a Hertha Berlin kit there as he sits in the VAR box, just cuddling away in the referee's ear. Luca with a free kick here from the edge of the area. Oh, that's hit the crossbar. It's kind of dealt with by Borussia Dortmund, by which I mean they've just belted it long and got it out of the box, so we can't have another attack. But half time, 2-1 to Hertha Berlin here. Obviously wins. That's what we need. Wins keeps us top of the league for the rest of the season. Dropping points is going to make it dangerous for us. So whether we can go the rest of the season without actually dropping any points, there is still quite a bit of football left to play. Now we have Mekalenko there over on the left. It's been played back into him. He's in bags of space, cross into the box. Inui, he has managed to get his 5th goal of the season. I still say that was a very, very good signing we made in the January transfer window. He has been fantastic since he came here. Obviously a little bit self-serving because we brought him into Barnsley and made him a bit more of a reputable star, and then we've brought him over to Hertha Berlin and made him even more of a reputable star. I think obviously Hertha Berlin definitely on a higher level than Barnsley FC. No offense to Barnsley at all, absolutely loved them. Again, they were on the channel earlier in this series. They were our second club before we went over to Man City and unceremoniously got fired. THRASHING has just scored as well. I feel like after me saying Philip never rules against us, that one might be against us. That one did look actually offside. It was a big cross into the box. I think THRASHING was probably too early. No, never mind. Philip loves Hertha Berlin. Absolutely loves us. Mekalenko there, back to Silva. Neuhaus sees the run of THRASHING into the far post. It's tapped home, nice and easy there, and we are now 4-1 up against Borussia Dortmund. As much as we always struggle against Mönchengladbach, is it we struggle against? I can't remember who it is we struggle against. I have a bogey team. I literally mentioned them in the last episode, and their name has completely escaped me. But as much as we have our bogey team, Borussia Dortmund seems to be the team that we have their number. We do consistently when we face them, beat them, and it's never a low scoring tie either. It might be time for Borussia Dortmund to get a new number 1 because we love scoring a goal against Borussia Dortmund. I'm going to have to make a couple of changes here because I feel like this is more or less, touch some wood, job done, and we have some tired legs. We're going to bring on Akahomak over here on the right hand side. Kavarat's looking tired as well, so maybe we change that side as well and we'll bring Penna on. That's 2 changes. We'll wait and see who gets the most tired when we hit sort of the 75th 80th minute and take them off as well. Funk has got a yellow card and is looking tired, so maybe he is the one that's going to be coming off. We'll bring on Stefan Jaeger over on that side, and that'll be our 3rd and final substitution as we just see out the rest of the match. Borussia Dortmund have had 13 shots and a goal, but that goal was a penalty, which, you know, is a lot easier to score than a goal from open play. From open play, they haven't threatened us too much. Stuff like that pass we've just saw, we can deal with that all day long. Luca now playing that one in UI. It's a brilliant goal from Florentino Penna from outside the area. Come on, made his mark in the match. He's still a shout for being our long-term striker. Obviously, we've got Renan brought into the club now. I don't think Renan's actually scored a goal yet. He hasn't started a game because Luca is playing out of his skin this season. He's just been given a new contract in between episodes as well, because Arsenal, Juventus, Man City, lots of teams were starting to come sniffing. He was showing up as wanted by those teams. We've decided to give him a new contract to keep him at the club. He obviously was only purchased just before we got here, so he's been here about a year and a half now, and definitely one we want to be keeping because he is playing some fantastic football. Now we just kind of need to see, what do Bayern Munich do in their game before we face Bayer Leverkusen in 13 days' time? Well, with essentially our full team available for this match against Bayer Leverkusen, we are lining up like this. We've got Mendy in goal, Michaelenko, Silva, Mancini and Funk as our back four. Freeman returns in the defensive midfielder position with Traore and Ioanai in front of him. We've then got Kavarat, Techo and Luka up front. So actually, not that many changes. I have just noticed as well, it's one change. It's really not that many changes from last match, considering we had so many players out. One thing I was just considering in between these two matches and having a look at it is Johnny White, our backup goalkeeper, is starting to improve. He's now 2.5 stars. Mendy's 3 stars. Johnny White has a lot more potential. And I'm thinking, heading into next season, maybe it's time for him to be our first choice goalkeeper. I think there's a bit of short-term pain there in terms of, you know, he's going to be not quite as good as Mendy. He's going to lack match experience originally, but I think long term, obviously, he's the goalkeeper we will be playing. That's what we brought him in for. I kind of was a bit obsessed with him as well because we almost signed him as a free agent at Blythe Spartans, way down in the 5th tier of English football. Instead of that, he probably rightly decided to sign with Manchester City as a youth player, and ever since then I saw him on scouting reports as I headed up the leagues. We tried to bring him in at Barnsley, wasn't having any of that either, didn't even want to talk to us when we were at Barnsley. We then had him when we were at Manchester City. He wasn't ready for the first team then by some stretch. We obviously still had Henderson there as the main Man City goalkeeper, and Johnny White not ready to be brought into the team, and now we've brought him to Hertha Berlin. And I definitely think next season it might be time for Johnny White to become the first choice goalkeeper at Hertha Berlin, and Mendy to take a more veteran role of maybe coaching, mentoring, playing the occasional DFB Pokal Cup game, and sort of bringing in the players for the future and stop being an aging first choice goalkeeper. Not that having obviously a goalkeeper of that age is necessarily a bad thing, because it's a goalkeeper, they tend to go a bit longer than outfield players. Cross into the box there for Luka not managing to keep that one down. I haven't actually had a lot go on in that first half. Obviously now in the second half we have got a corner here though. Traore into the near post for Luka to attempt to attack, not managed it, and now Bayer Leverkusen going forward pretty fast. He's going completely alone. He's gone completely alone. It's resulted in a goal for Rodrigo. Wow, not expecting that. That was some run, and I'm a little bit concerned that we did nothing to deal with it. Aronson there pretty much, he has run the length of the pitch without ever even an attempt at a tackle, and that Mendy should have been doing a lot better with. That was straight at him, straight down his throat. He even got a touch to it and hasn't managed to keep it out, which is not exactly what we wanted, because as you can see, Bayern Munich did win both their games that they have played in between these two matches. They are level on points with us as it stands. They are completely level on points with us. At least if we get a draw, we'll be 1 point clear as it stands. It's very, very cagey, and we're ahead just on goal difference. THRASHING crosses it into the box. No one getting on the end of it. Silva is going to bring the ball forward now. Michaelenko, Freeman, Traore. We're passing it around nicely. Michaelenko into THRASHING. Luka with his 24th goal of the season. Right, we've pulled one back. I am seeing some tired legs down on the field though. Michaelenko is looking fairly tired. Kavarat is looking fairly tired, and I think it just came up in this highlight as well that he may have taken a bit of a knock. So it's probably time to make some changes and try and get back into this match. I mean, we're in this match now. Now it's whether we can go and actually win this match. Michaelenko is going to come off. We'll bring Valdez on for him. And then Cavarat on that left-hand side needs to come on. So Penna's going to be coming on. That means that entire left-hand side has been refreshed. I never know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Fresher legs, but all of a sudden you've got your 2 second choice players over on the left hand side of your midfield. Do Bayer Leverkusen, whichever team you're playing at, Bayer Leverkusen as it stands, then try and exploit that side of the field. It's possibly what I would do as a manager, would be having a look and going, those aren't your top players. They aren't used to playing week in, week out. They don't have the same understanding as the 2 players you just brought off. Probably going to go and attack there. Our stamina seems to have been like properly destroyed by this international break here. Schubert's going to come on there. We'll swap around Uranoi and Schubert for the last sort of 7-8 minutes here. Yeah, the international break seems to have completely destroyed our stamina. I don't know if a lot of our players have just not been playing football. That's entirely possible. We definitely have some players playing international games, THRASHING being one of them. He's scored 2 goals in his 3 appearances, and I think Silva has just scored an own goal. This is what I get for trusting Silva. He's been a very strange signing since we signed him in a January transfer window. He's flitted between getting 7.7 ratings in our last match against Borussia Dortmund, to in his debut giving away 2 goals, to in this match scoring an own goal, which puts us 2-1 down to Bayer Leverkusen with a minute left on the clock, and is today going to condemn us to a 2-1 defeat. I think Silva might be getting dropped again and Delport bringing Port back in as soon as he is fit enough. That does mean we are now level on points with Bayern Munich. 67 points with 29 games played. We're ahead by 3 goals on goal difference. And we only have 5 matches left in the season. I'd always think it's a bit weird at the end of a Bundesliga that you have one on the 28th and then you've got a 2-week break before you play the final match of the season. With 5 games left to play, we have Dusseldorf, we have Arminia, Blyfield, Wolfsburg, Freiburg, and that team, Oi. We will come back for the Freiburg and Oi matches, assuming that we're still actually within a shout of winning the league, which I think we should be realistically if we continue playing the way we have. There's no reason to believe we're going to have a sudden really bad collapse. But now I've said that, of course, FM22 will come and punish me. If you have enjoyed that one, if you want to see the end of this series, if you want to see if we win the Bundesliga with Hertha Berlin, then please do hit the like button, get this video out to some people who might not have seen it yet, and hit the subscribe button as well if you haven't already. We are now heading towards 500 subscribers. The goal was 200 by the end of May. We have absolutely smashed that. We're on over 300 subscribers at the time of recording. 500 by the end of May would be very pleasant. Until next time though guys, thank you very much for watching. Check out the video that's on the page now, and I'll see you over for those last 2 matches, potentially a Bundesliga title. Bye bye.